Frozen 2 was directed by Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck, the same duo who directed the first Frozen, and tells a story about how Elsa is starting to hear voices in her head, which lead her to the Enchanted Forest, which, using the four elemental spirits of fire, earth, wind, and water, are going to threaten Arendelle, and Elsa and the gang must join forces once again so they can see how they can fix wrongdoings of the past and fix Arendelle and save the day once again. Before I go further on with this review, I'm just going to say that I don't hate the first Frozen movie. I actually think it's a solid animated film. I think it's enjoyable and watchable enough. The songs are catchy at points, and it has a good theme with it. It has a good message to send to kids. But I had no excitement towards Frozen 2 at all. I just watched it with my sisters and my mom today. And I'm going to say that I don't hate this movie, nor do I like it. It's just meh for me. It's a very meh movie to me. The only positives I can really give to this movie are the animation, as Disney has once again proven that they can do 3D animation on a whole nother level. Like, everything looks gorgeous, from the water effects to trees to leaves to individual strands of hair on people. Everything just looks great. This is a beautiful looking movie to look at. And I'm not going to say that I don't like the movie, because I was looking at every scene going, wow, everything just looks great, from how they can light the scene in the shot in this animated world, and how every character has so much emotion in them by the animators that are designing them. This is just a gorgeous movie to look at. Also, there is at least two songs that I found enjoyable and not catchy, but I felt like, okay, that's a warranted song to be in this musical to help amplify the mood of the movie, as what songs in musicals should do. And there are action scenes here and there that do provide some fun, but besides that, I didn't really get much out of this movie for me. And I know this movie isn't targeted directly towards me and my specific tastes that I like in movies, but I can watch any movie really, and I can enjoy them or not. Like, I can enjoy parts of Frozen, but Frozen 2 is a different story for me. Also, I did laugh a couple of times. There's a moment in which Olaf is retelling the events of the first movie to some people, and the way he was telling it, I didn't get a laugh out of it, but the reaction of some people, I did get a laugh out of that. And there was also a side gag as to which the character Kristoff is trying to get some, nice smelling breath so he can propose to Anna. So he chews a piece of mint, breathes into his hand, and smells his breath, and he just like shrugs it off as like, oh, it's whatever. That got a chuckle out of me. But besides that, I didn't really laugh as much as everyone else did in this movie. And it's not that I have a lot of negatives with this movie. I'm not saying that this is a bad movie by any means. It's just that nothing gripped me. Nothing was compelling me to care for anything going on in the movie at all. Now, what a musical should have are good songs. And I didn't like many of the songs in this movie. None of them were compelling to me. None of them seemed to further the mood of the movie and the specific scenes that they were associated with. That, and none of them are as catchy as any of the songs from the first movie. Also, I found Olaf to be very annoying throughout the entire movie, really. He seemed to be this sort of vessel for the audience to associate through, as to making jokes throughout the scenes or providing weird commentary to anything going on throughout the film. And he seems like this superficial character who, out of nowhere, in relation to the first movie, becomes this character that seems he's all high and mighty with all this wise words that he has to say. Like, where did this come from? I thought this was supposed to be the comedy relief character from the first movie, which then got chuckles out of me from the first one, but not in here. He just doesn't seem like the same character. And I know the job of a sequel is to differentiate itself from the first movie, as to not make it seem so similar, but anything this movie didn't seem to be as good as it did in the first one at all. It's easy for a person like me, a guy like me, to hate on a movie like this, but I'm not going to hate on the movie because there are things to appreciate, like the animation, a couple of songs, and a couple of jokes in the movie. But besides that, there isn't really anything gripping me to want to put it on again. There's nothing really compelling me to put on Frozen, but I could watch it and not hate myself. I just don't see myself wanting to put on Frozen 2 at all. There is a point where I intentionally laughed because of some of the editing techniques used in the movie. There's a song that Kristoff sings when he's sad because Anna had to leave at one point and he didn't know why Anna left. And it does like this weird anime-esque trope thing where a character is in the background and in the foreground you see another version of that character singing while the other one in the background is doing nothing. I found that very unintentionally funny. As well as it making like Bohemian Rhapsody references with Kristoff walking forward and like a couple of Svens around him, like the music video for Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't even think there is like a theme like how the first movie did. So that's even worse when it comes to the way I look at movies, is that there isn't a theme for me to take away with and, just think about. It doesn't have anything that the first one even tried to do. There's no semblance of this movie giving a theme for people to look at. The first movie had stuff like don't marry a man you see on the first day, or love conquers all, or whatever, This movie, I don't find anything compelling. I don't find any meaning to derive from this movie. But all in all, I don't hate the movie. I don't like the movie. It's just meh for me. I'm not gonna trash it like I easily could by saying this is a dumb, girly movie or whatever. But there are things to appreciate in it, and in the end, I'm going to give Frozen 2 a C. Thanks for watching this review. I don't really have much to say on this movie because I didn't get a lot out of it. That's all I'm going to say about it. So, like this video if you did. Tell me what you thought about Frozen 2, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. I'm interested in hearing what people got away from this movie. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this, more skits, more movie reviews. So I'll see you all next time. Bye.